Hi, everybody. It's Erin from Assets and Arbitrage. Um, I'm gonna let a few people come into the room before I start babbling on with the information that I have for you guys today. Um, and it's early. It's almost 4 o'clock on the East Coast. But for those of you who are going to catch this live as a recording, I do want to let you know that the first family of Bitcoin has in fact lost their, I lost my king, the creator, the founder, and the visionary of Simon Family Investment Ventures. So we are in the process of, I don't like to use the word mourning. We're in the process of celebrating the life um, that he offered us. We want to celebrate the time. This was his vision. I'm sorry, it's all choppy today because I didn't really know what to say, but his vision was for this show to be community service. It was a way to pour back into the community. It was his way to offer his expertise financially because he realizes that financial instability is one of the things that plagues our community. For those of you who are watching, he is behind me. He's here. So it is Aaron and Simon. Um, that maroon is the thing that goes over his beautiful urn. Um, so I do want to let you guys know that I absolutely am going to be doing virtual funeral services for him. Simon and I have lived all over the world, like for real, for real. So I have people all over the East Coast, the South, Central America, and Latin America, Colombia. Hey, cousin Jake, I love you too. Kiss my Bitcoin baby. Thank you for joining. And they're all wanting to figure out how am I going to celebrate his life and if I'm coming back to these respective places in order to celebrate his life. The answer is I'm not going to uproot the children while they're trying to mourn. So the best way to bring everybody together to participate in the life celebration of such an incredible individual is to do it virtually. It is 2024. We should be able to pull that off. That's going to be November 30th at 1 p.m. Central Time. A lot of you guys are on Twitter. So you guys who are on Twitter, you should be, I'm going to make sure I keep sending out notifications and stuff. I did do the notifications on Facebook, but I'll send you guys notifications on Twitter as we get closer to the time. Sean, Reggie, and I are still working out how we want to do it, but I'm going to let y'all know up front that Simon was jokey. He was goofy. He loved laughing. He used to laugh and joke all the time. His mom had passed away in 2021, I think. We went back to Cincinnati, and while we were at a funeral service, he had put his head down like this, and he whispered to me, like, if something ever happened to me, I don't want no formal service like this. Nobody does, right? You got a pastor up there, unless you go to that church every Sunday, which most people don't. You got a pastor up there talking about you and eulogizing you, and they have no idea who you are. Then you have the sad songs. You got the person in the back who's wailing. It is just too much grief. And even after the service was over, he was like, Aaron, I don't want that. I don't want to go to another funeral. I don't want to do that. Now, granted, I thought he was talking about when we're like 85, but I thought that the best way to put a service together would to be one kind of like how he does the show where you guys will hop on. You can talk about your funny Simon stories or maybe how he impacted your life. But we do want it to be a celebration, right? I'm his wife. We have his kids. Trust us, nobody's sadder than we are. But because he was such an incredible human being, because he was such an incredible father, you guys got to witness firsthand over 200 shows our authentic relationship. Like, our relation, that's what y'all saw is what it was, right? We were literally two peas in a pod. So because he has taught me so much, he's mentored me in so many things. Even his death has been a profound download for me to remind me, like, yo, E, do not forget what you came here to do. Don't get wrapped up in the everyday minutia, and don't get wrapped up in it when I'm gone. It was a huge reminder to do what we agreed to do whenever we were up in the ether. Thank you so much. He was a real stand-up guy. He was, right? 10 toes down. Boom. He was 100 grand, my man. I'm gonna tell you that now. So, funny story. I had a few funny stories for y'all. Cause I feel good today. I've been thinking about it for 4 days, and I want to keep reframing while I feel the sadness in the absence of his presence, because he has such a big presence, right? So that makes me sad. And the uncertainty, right? Y'all watch this show. Y'all know I ain't nobody independent woman, and I surely ain't nobody modern woman. So I have to navigate the uncertainty of figuring out life uncoupled from my husband. I met Simon when I was 19. I literally went from my father's house to my husband's house. I've never lived on my own. I don't know what that's like. I certainly don't know what that's like with my children. So those are the two areas I'll need to navigate, figure out. Um, he's taught me how to, do a lot of stuff, but it's very different when, you have a giant behind you. You can be confident, right? You can get stuff done. You can be the most dynamic woman in the world because you literally have a giant behind you. But my giant is currently unavailable in a parallel dimension somewhere, higher frequency. So I'm grateful for that. My giant is also feeling better. He's not sick anymore. His body doesn't hurt. He doesn't have pain. He doesn't have to take a whole bunch of medications, which he hated, and still kind of push through his day because he felt like he had to be there for us. So, like, I keep finding ways to reframe it in my mind. Like, this is a good thing. This is a great thing. He served a spectacular purpose. There'd be people here live to be 97 years old and don't contribute shit to the paradigm of life that they live in, and they don't leave any legacy and they don't leave anything. So if I only had him for, it's going to be 25 years in January, if I only had him for just about 25 years, 2 months short of 25 years, it was 25 quality. I'm talking high quality, right? Luxury quality, opulent quality years of marriage. Thank you guys so much for your condolences. On Thursday, after we did the show, he leaned back in his chair, show's over, right? He leaned back in his chair and he looks at me and he goes, I had to do the show when you couldn't, right? He says, so I'm expecting you to do the show if I can't. Now I'm thinking he mean like a hospital stay or two. I didn't know he meant forever. But I said, no, this is your show. I'm not doing the show. That is your show. That's why I wanted you to do the show while I was in the hospital, right? And he said, no, Aaron, like, I'm serious. Like, he stopped smiling. He said, I'm serious. And leaned forward and he went like this. So I said, all right, I'm picky, promise you, right? I can do a few shows if I literally said that. I can do a few shows if you're not there, and then I can kind of like tell you what we'll talk about and stuff like that to hold it down for you while you're not there. So y'all know now I'm stuck in this thing. We're going to continue on with his legacy, but y'all also understand that when we did the shows, he had his role, I have mine. So I still need to kind of navigate how that's going to look to maintain the authenticity of the show and to put some respect on the legacy that he established, right? So I do want to let you know that we will continue on with the Bitcoin journey. Y'all know Bitcoin. Last time I looked, it was at like 94,000. Let me see if it went down. It's 94,353. Okay. So we're still going to do Bitcoin. We're still going to remind you to keep stacking, stacking, stacking. Again, not only did my husband leave a legacy, but he was who he told you he was. All the paperwork was in order. It was very easy for me to get everything done. Outside of the bureaucracy of what needs to be done paperwork wise, I am swimming in Bitcoin. I'm swimming in precious metals. I have policies to cash out. Um, he was who he said he was. Everything was in my name. He didn't put his name on anything. So all of the custodial, it was already mine anyway. What I am doing though is I am making the little ones, the two little ones, the 14-year-old, the 8-year-old has to watch the 14-year-old, but the 8-year-old's job is to buy Bitcoin every day, right? We still dollar cost average every day. Show don't stop, because this is what he trained us to do. So we've been buying. I didn't obviously buy any. He passed away on Saturday evening. So I did buy some. He went to the hospital Friday, Reggie?
Yeah, I think it was Friday night.
He went to the hospital Friday night. So I don't think he bought any Bitcoin on Friday because he was feeling so bad.
Yeah.
He did buy some on Thursday because he was asking me, like, what's in the checking account? So he did buy some Thursday. So I do remember that. And obviously he did the show on Thursday, so that makes sense. But on Friday he was feeling really, and I didn't want to do the show on Thursday because I thought he looked so bad. Like, let's rest. But he insisted on doing it, and that was probably his farewell show. So I'm kind of glad he did it in hindsight. But many of you have messaged me and said you didn't look like you was into the show, and I was just so preoccupied with him not feeling good. So we didn't buy any Friday or Saturday or obviously Sunday. But I made sure I bought some on Monday. I said, look, we doing what you told us to do. And y'all already know, y'all who watch the show know that when my husband, he got an idea, I'd be like, what we doing? So I've been keeping that up. I haven't bought any silver though, so I need to go into One Gold and do that. Thank you so much, you guys. The outpouring is incredible. It's amazing. And it just lets me know that the legacy that he had intended to leave to impact your lives in some sort of a better way for free, it really made a difference, right? That was his community service. And that means, whatever higher frequency he's in, he's definitely got to get some type of earthly credit for that. This is a hard realm to navigate. It's a really hard realm to navigate. What else did I want to talk to them about?
You said the service.
I told them about the services.
I don't know when we're gonna have one because I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, I told them November 30th that one.
No, I'm talking about another show. I don't know.
Don't worry. We're going to get the show. Reggie and I are going to sit down and try to navigate. We're still the first family of Bitcoin. That was his vision. That was his heart. The logo is going to change. So for those of you who are used to seeing the logo with just my face, he wanted it to be just my face because his idea was he's the CEO and he wanted me to be the face of the business. But I'm definitely adding his face. I'm sure he'll come to me in a dream and fuss with me. Oh, I want to tell y'all about a dream I had. So was that yesterday, Reggie? I had a dream. So yesterday I had a dream, right? It's like 4:00 in the morning. Yeah, obviously know that I'm not sleeping well. I'm sleeping like an hour at a time, hour and a half at a time. But I fell asleep and I was sitting right here, or I was standing here, and we have a heater. But in the dream, the heater was a speaker. So the speaker starts to ring, and my kids are in the room, and I'm looking at them like, why would the speaker be ringing like a phone? And Reggie was like, well, Mom, answer it. So I answered the speaker, and I heard my husband's voice. In the dream, I cried, right? And he said, I do remember you. Like, I remember y'all. And I was like, okay, good. Are you okay? He said, yeah. And this is a true story. He said, before he passed away, we were studying quantum mechanics. We were studying jumping timelines, quantum entanglement. We were going to do a show with Zoe. We kept saying, we're going to do the show. We're going to do the show. We're going to talk to you about that. Yeah, let me deal with Zoe too, because Zoe's grieving. But he said to me in the dream, he said, Erin, I had every intention in jumping the timeline with you physically. I did not mean to shift the way I did. I didn't mean to shift timelines the way I did. And I told him, it's okay. Thank you for everything. Yada, yada, yada. It's probably my farewell dream. And then, like, the kids kind of talked to him in the dream. And then we didn't know what to say to him. So my goofy ass goes, wherever you are, do y'all have Bitcoin? He was like, yeah. He said, keep shoveling money into it. It's 200,000 over here. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to make sure I keep buying. He said, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking, because it's over $200,000 where I'm at. And, it's probably a dream of everything all jumbled up, or maybe not, right? Maybe in the parallel dimension he's in, just different monetary factors, and Bitcoin's already over 200,000 there. I told him it was only 94 here, because when he passed away, I think it was still like 80, 87, 88, right? It was having trouble breaking the 90 mark. Thank you so much for your condolences.
Did you talk about like the wisdom? Like we had to go do the thing next day?
No, they don't need to know all of that. Hi, Les Square. I hope you got my email. I tried to send you an email so that you didn't find out this way, because you and him talk like all the time. So I didn't want you to, find out. You finally caught me. Why have you been emailing me? I'm sorry, I'm behind. I'm currently understaffed. I'm so, my apologies, my apologies. Go ahead and send me are you gonna
You want to check real quick?
let me know if you're sending me an email, if you want me to call, let me know what you need me to do, Les Square. But yes, so we are gonna continue the show. Even today, in the dream, he also said, like, make sure you're running at least once or twice a week. And when he said running, I thought he meant like walking, like keeping my health up. But I think now I'm perceiving it to be make sure I run the show at least once or twice a week for him. Thank you so much, Daryl, for your condolences. So I want to tell y'all something important. And whether you believe in it or not is up to you. I'm going to leave the information. Y'all know I always did the metaphysical side of the show, which is why I think my acceptance process of his transitioning, notice the words that I'm using. I'm not using terms like loss and stuff. I didn't lose them. He just expanded. His consciousness expanded into a higher frequency, and that's the goal, hopefully, for all of us. But yesterday, okay, we had a major shift, and that major shift was Pluto into Aquarius. We are coming now into very serious times. So you have to understand that life right now is a lot bigger than Bitcoin, okay? You know a Super Mario for real, for real? I think he is in another, and that's why he was able to communicate with me so easily. And the fact that he said, like, Bitcoin is over 200,000 here. It's like, oh, okay. He said, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep doing everything I taught you to do. I'm not dismissing the dream. I'm very spiritual, and I'm going to share a little nugget with you guys. Pluto going into Aquarius. This is a cosmic shift. We haven't been in this point for over 200 years. The last time we were in this shift, we had the Revolutionary War, the French Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, in that period that Pluto was in Aquarius. So you have to start preparing with what we've been discussing with you. Extra water, perishable goods. Start buying silver, so that if you are unable to transfer your Bitcoin or trade it or whatever you think you're going to do in a post-apocalyptic period, you have something of value that you can barter and trade. We are getting into very serious times. The World Economic Forum, I've been talking to you guys about that for a long time now. They are down to the wire. They have 5 years left to their goals, and by any means necessary, they're already behind. By any means necessary, they're going to try to accomplish their diabolic goals. This is the time when we need to be spending in some sort of meditation, meaning that, one, you have to take care of your vessel best as you can. Okay. Fruits, seeded fruits, if you can find them, hydration. I follow Dr. Yakai, and he's a heavy proponent on eating your water, H3O, eating your water. Yeah, 200K balling over there. But he said something about, like he said, I had every intention, because we all shifted yesterday. We all shifted yesterday. It was a big shift. And I don't know if he realized he was telling me about the shift yesterday, because I found out about it after the fact. But he said, I had every intention in shifting that timeline with you physically. I didn't mean to jump my body, is what he said. And he apologized, like, I'm so, so sorry. The other thing he says, since Super Mario's on wave with me, I'm going to share it with you. I wasn't going to share it with y'all. I didn't want y'all to think I was delusional or crazy. But he said, I'm actually here with other Aaron and other boys. So there is a version of me in a higher frequency. He's there with us and the boys, just in that parallel dimension where Bitcoin's 200,000. I didn't ask about silvers, and I didn't think to. It was a short dream, and I was semi-lucid. I wasn't lucid enough. Big watch dude. Oh, Victor guy. Yes. I've been having trouble with the overlay, with the drop down. I have no idea if you guys go to Simon Family Investment Ventures YouTube channel, please go over there and subscribe to our network, watch our videos, like, we really appreciate it. I'm taking these off.
What?
They're bothering me. We really appreciate it. We don't sell you guys or anything like that, but just subscribing and watching the videos and liking actually helps a lot, and it makes sure that his legacy actually lives, right? It doesn't go for naught. But with Pluto being in Aquarius, we are headed into some turbulent times. I'm not trying to give you gloom doom information. I'm trying to, if we're prepared, we don't have to get ready, right? So we stay prepared so we don't get ready. Every time you go to the supermarket, buy some extra water, some perishable goods, over-the-counter medications like for flu, cold. For those of you who are more health nuts, you definitely want to buy some fresh dried oregano, extra virgin olive oil, put it in a glass container. If you have a pantry, that's best because it's hidden. And that is a natural antibiotic, because obviously if we're in a post-apocalyptic situation at some point, you can't go to the pharmacy and get antibiotics. But I would really appreciate you guys if you headed over to our page and subscribed and liked the information. But this is serious times, right? And we can kind of see the writing on the wall. Hey, Cousin H. You can see the writing on the wall. A lot of people were surprised at the election events. Not sure why, but they were very, very surprised. And you also have to understand what the bigger objective and agenda is. And again, not gloom and doom. I just kind of want to tell y'all the times we living in, right? We have 13 bloodlines who run the entire world. Originally, we were supposed to be those original 13 bloodlines. But those of you who have access to a Bible, Deuteronomy 28, right? The first part of it, the blessings, not the curses, that was him trying to establish the 13 lines to run the family. Y'all know that Hashatan, the enemy, the adversary, copies every single thing the Most High does. So he has his own 13 bloodlines, and they are the ones who are in control. Cool, cool, cool. All right. They want to disconnect the souls from the earth because they want to take control of it, and they're not going to be able to. That doesn't mean they're going to not go down without a fight. So we are shifted into a 19-year period, the 1 being the beginning, the 9 being the end. Like, this is very important. Okay. That's why I said some of this is beyond Bitcoin. People are going to be increasing their frequency. They're coming into knowing. Aquarius is the age of knowing. This isn't just even zodiac sign stuff. Aquarius is the age of knowing, it's the age of truth. That's why you're seeing certain societal systems crumbling. You're seeing people right after left, left after right being exposed. That darkness was able to hide in the age of Pisces. It is not able to hide in the age of Aquarius. Women's intuitions, men have intuition too, but women's intuition should be ramping up for a lot more than knowing your man cheating on you, right? Your intuition should be ramping up and increasing in frequency so that you can perceive the events that are to come. Okay. In addition to those things, yes, keep stacking, keep stacking, keep stacking. You have to put yourself in a position of stability. Thank you so much, Big Watch Dude. You have to put yourself in a position of stability. You want to be studying the events, and you don't want to be distracted with foolishness, with the bread in the circus, right? Diddy did what he did. He got to do the time. We don't need to be on top of all of the details in the process, right? All we needed to know was that your parties were actual satanic rituals that allowed for some of the powers that be to have the power to fight against the power of the souls, which would be us, who are trying to raise our frequency because we really are responsible for bringing the new earth to fruition. We are the creators. We are the co-creators, I should say, because Source is the creator, and we co-create with Source. That's why that prayer, the Our Father prayer, is one of the most popular prayers. It says, let your kingdom come. Let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Heaven was never meant for us to go up to this other place. It was designed for us to bring it here. And for those of you who follow the scriptures, all throughout the Bible, the Most High showed you he wanted to be here with us. And he tabernacled with us. So we are supposed to be utilizing our electromagnetic presence, our divine ability, our ability to create. The enemy does not have the ability to create because he doesn't have a soul. And when I say he, I mean him and all of his little minions. They don't have souls. They're not able to create, which is why they work so hard to oppress those who have a soul. Okay? It's also a reason why they hate Bitcoin. Bitcoin was not created. It was discovered. It was discovered. We don't know how long it's been hanging around. And I even asked Simon one day, I said, just hypothetically, what if there was more than 21 million Bitcoin? What if at some point there was 100 million Bitcoin? And the Atlanteans and the Lemurians, they used it, right? And we don't know what happened to them. What if they had situations like us? They show you in history how technology did exist back then. We still don't know how they used the Merkaba, we call the pyramid, as a Merkaba. We have no idea how they used it. The Bermuda Triangle just fires off randomly, which is why planes and all sorts of other conveyances disappear. We have no idea how long have you been a Bitcoiner? So my husband was actually the one who introduced me to Bitcoin. He's been using Bitcoin since 2015. A military buddy of his, really into technology, introduced him to Bitcoin. He's been buying since 2015.
I ain't never told me about that since I told us.
You should watch our show sometimes.
No,
that's my son.
I'm talking about pre-2020 when I was little, smaller.
I get that the math is mathematically locked at 21 million. All I said was if technology existed before, right, in ancient times, how do we know that the Lemurians and the Atlanteans didn't have access to it? Again, Bitcoin was discovered. We're just, we're just talking. We're just, all things are possible in every dimension. So, we were having that conversation, but I think they had Bitcoin because they can't manipulate it. But again, fiat currency is dead. It's death. It erodes away. It decomposes. It deteriorates like a body without a soul, right? You leave that money in your checking account, it's eating away. You leave that money under your mattress, it's eating away. You leave that money on your dresser, it's eating away. You leave that money in your physical wallet, it is deteriorating. Whereas Bitcoin is alive. It thrives.
So it's literally burning a hole in my pocket.
It is literally burning a hole in your pocket.
Um,
And you got to remember, they can't create anything. So those 13 bloodlines do everything they can to keep us oppressed so they can force us to create for them. Okay, so you want to be aware of the times that you live in. If you live in the United States, and I'm looking you in your eyes, if you live in the United States, start being aware of your environment. Okay, when we think about the United States as the world stage is watching, the United States seems to be almost like some weird lab experiment. The way that they allow the foods to be poisoned, I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but they have been setting off these noise resonances. So you're hearing weird alarms, sounds, garbles, and it is in order to throttle down your frequency to a level of disease. The way that they keep wanting to vaccinate you and how they want to biohack. Check out, what is his name? He is part of the World Economic Forum. He's a scientist. He's bald. His name is going to come to me in a minute. But his job is to figure out a way to biohack so that they can take over the functions of your body. They can figure out what you're thinking about and they can control what you think about. That's not normal when we serve a source that says he gives us free will. So make sure you stay stacking, stacking, stacking. Make sure you are dollar cost averaging your Bitcoin. Make sure that you are purchasing extra perishable goods, such as water, canned goods, again, over-the-counter medicines, making sure that you have your emergency kits with your Band-Aid, your gauze pads, alcohol, and so on and so forth. And I am probably not going to go live again until December. I might, maybe, right? Let me not say, right? Because he come to me in a dream like what I tell you to do, and then I'll be on. But for the most part, I am expecting to not come back. I'll start fresh in December. But we will be having a celebration of life right on here, right on Restream. I just need to figure some stuff out because the idea that Reggie, Sean, and I had was that we will allow people to come on and just talk about, if you have a funny story about him, if you remember something funny he said, if he impacted your life in a certain way, if, any of those things, it could really be a celebration to say thank you to a job well done, good and faithful servant. You have completed your mission. He was military. He was a firefighter. So in every iteration of his physical life, he had always worked in a capacity to help empower society. In the beginning, it was health-wise, right? As he was a medic, he was a paramedic. And he did that for a long time. And then he was a firefighter paramedic. And then he transformed into basically being I'm going to call it a financial medic, right? For those who are trying to find better ways to sustain some type of financial stability. What could I do? The stock market is very confusing. It's hard for people to learn. It's hard for people to understand. And it can, at this point, because shit's overvalued, it comes with a lot of risk. So him sitting down and studying Bitcoin and studying silver and its wonderful hedge against the manipulation of the market and the overvalued stocks and the overvalued real estate and stuff like that, it gave a lot of people hope and a methodological direction, right? There was a methodology into how you can increase your money, how you can maintain your purchasing power, how you can increase your purchasing power. For those of you who are new to the show, and I tell the story all the time. This year, there was a lot of economic uncertainty. The corporation that I work for was like, hey, we really got to pinch our pennies. So we won't be giving a decent raise this year, right? Not a raise that is going to compete with inflation and the cost of living and so on and so forth. So I went crying to my husband and he was like, okay, what percentage of raise do you think you deserve? And I said, I think I deserve an 8% raise. So he said, I'll do you one better. And it took him, some time or whatever. But what he did was he kept stacking and stacking and stacking and stacking. And then we usually get our raise in May. So I complained to him about it at the beginning of May. A little bit before he got sick in July. He got sick on July 1st. I think it was like the last week of June. He presented me with a 14% raise, just utilizing the money, the income that we brought in, right? So his whole vision was about, if society cannot do it for you, you are going to be empowered enough to do it for yourself. I've told the stories that we had stopped getting decent tax returns a while ago. As I was building up my economic scalability in corporate America, instead of getting these big fat tax returns, because we have all of these children. We have 4 children, for those of you guys who don't know. I was owing money. So not only was he trying to figure out, his whole thing was, I'm going to get that down so you don't owe any money, or it's easy for us to pay back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide you the tax return. You just got to give me a couple of months to do it, or a few months. 1 year, it took a bit because stuff was trading sideways. But he was able to present me with the amount of money that we would have normally gotten for a tax return. And of course, what did we do with it? We turned right around and reinvested it. He just wanted to demonstrate that what society won't do for you, you are empowered to do for yourself, utilizing Bitcoin and silver as your hedge. You don't have to figure out the wedges and the bulls and the bull run and the bear market. You don't have to figure all of that out with Bitcoin and silver. You simply stack and stack and stack. If it goes down, great, it's on sale. Continue to stack. And it's a lot easier for people to take the proper steps they need in order to get the financial empowerment that they need in their lives. Because you got to keep in mind, it's all mindset. Wealth starts here before it ever ends up here. Okay. I love you guys. I've been on for about 40 minutes. I still have some things I have to do today, due to, the situation that we're in. But I did bring him home in Mexico. So they buried their dead in 24 hours. They literally took him from the hospital to the funeral home, and then the very next day they cremated him. As unsettling as this is, when they handed me his urn, and that red thing in the back is his urn. It's a satchel, a nice satchel that his urn goes in, and I left the satchel's Bitcoins on there and everything. When they handed me the urn, it was piping hot. That was the most, like, I was fine during the service. I was fine when we viewed his body in the coffin. I was fine. And then when they did the little ceremony and they brought out the urn and they presented it to me, that shit was piping hot. And I was like, Earth is hell.
That made me feel a little bit better.
Earth is literal hell. It is one of the only realms that is literally a sphere of hell. That was the thought that ran through my mind, holding my 6-foot husband, who's now this big. I'm gonna take you over there so y'all can see. Big watch, dude. There you go, the Invictus. Oh wait, the satchel's over it. There go the Invictus. I had to keep those. But that was his favorite Invicta, big watch, dude. The military one. So I kept that. That's him there with his Bitcoin, his silver. And for those of y'all who don't know, he was a huge Bengals fan. And this is a Super Bowl flip coin, 0.99999 silver, refined silver. And y'all know he had his limited edition Hot Wheels. He was a Cincinnati Reds fan. He was a tinkerer. So I have these little mini tools because he always used to be fixing stuff. I couldn't tell my husband anything wasn't working because he was going to go downstairs and fix it. But yes, Cryptonomics. Simon passed away Saturday, November 16th, 2024 at 6:20 p.m. So my baby's gone. It's gone, gone, gone.
Guess you get to wear Invictus now.
And Reggie's been wearing his Invictus big watch too. But Simon was always telling Reggie put his watch on. You want to wear this watch? You want to wear that watch?
This watch look good in the outfit.
So yes, Cryptonomics, he's gone. Yeah, I was as speechless as you were because I was supposed to bring him home Monday morning. He was supposed to be right as rain. They were like, oh, yeah, all we need to do is this, that, and the third, and you should be able to take him home Monday morning. And he crashed. And that was that. So in July, they saved his life. Right? July saved his life. Y'all may or may not notice, but they saved his life again. September 29th, they saved his life again. He was in the hospital for 1 week. They saved his life. So I got 2 chances. Yeah, we were online on Thursday, Cryptonomics. And obviously, as you can tell, I didn't go live on Monday because I was struggling a little bit. But more and more and more as I get downloads, more and more and more as I get information about the time that we're in, the shift. It did help that I had that dream, right? That he's in this parallel dimension where Bitcoin's $200,000. It helps me to accept it more. But what really helped me accept it is that I had the experience in this hellish realm of real love. And it's a rarity in this realm. I can see, all of the women and the men and okay, sorry. But which I can accept it a little bit more. I had real love. I had a man who loved me, who took care of me, who loved his children, who took care of his children. We got to spend the last 10 years together. We moved to Mexico 7 years ago. We've been on vacation for the last 7 years. Even after he got sick in September, I had to take some time off of work for him and myself. I got to spend 7 uninterrupted weeks with him. So, yeah, I'm able to kind of accept it more. Do I miss him? Absolutely. Is there a lot of uncertainty as I'm moving forward, uncoupled from my husband? Oh, absolutely. But he has mentored me. He has taught me. He has trained me, all for this moment. When I get up in the morning, I buy the Bitcoin. I know what to do in the house. I know what needs to be done. All the paperwork's in order, so I don't have a whole bunch of stress and so on and so forth. I couldn't have asked for more. I know he is. Like, yeah. So I am going to let all of you go. I love you guys so much. I will definitely be back in December because I feel like I still need to process a few things. But like I said, if he comes and he's like, hey, you ain't go live this week at all, then I'm going to get my ass online and have a show for y'all. So November 30th, that's a Saturday, November 30th at 1 p.m. Central Time. We will be live streaming his life celebration. You guys can come on and say whatever you want to say. His friends will be on there and stuff like that. Share whatever memories you have, but he wants it to be like a celebration. He doesn't want it to be sad and mournful and stuff like that. He expressed that at his mom's funeral, like he hated that. So I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all. Bye. I can never end the live stream like I'm supposed to. I still can't. Okay.